Now I want to get to the US now, and the president, of course, Donald Trump, is in Tokyo, where he's been lauding Japan's first female Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, and he's promised increased defence cooperation.
We've received your orders for a very large amount of new military equipment, and you know that we make the best military equipment in the world, the jets, the missiles, and everything else, and hopefully we don't have to use them very much, if at all. But we appreciate that order, and we very much appreciate the trade. We're going to do tremendous trade together.
And this is an important scene setter as Trump prepares to meet China's Xi Jinping in coming days. But back in the US, there's been a flurry of speculation about whether President Trump might be looking for a way to serve a third term. But as I put to our US analyst Kristin Tate, this is a bit of a furphy, surely, because the Constitution precludes it.
As much as some of us would love a third Donald Trump term, it is unconstitutional. But there is a reason, Chris, that I think President Trump has kind of been teasing this beyond just making the mainstream media talking heads lose their mind, which is hilarious. But the reason he might be kind of teasing this idea, even though it's not going to happen, is that it does sort of help him stave off a lame duck status. Now, lame duck, that usually applies to someone who's in office and was not voted for again, and they're kind of waiting for the next person to come in. But it can also be used to applied to second term presidents, and as their second term kind of comes to an end, people around them start making plans for the future that doesn't necessarily involve them at the center of those plans. Now, it's ridiculous to think that Republicans will completely cut themselves off from Donald Trump. He is the beating heart of the Republican Party. However, people around him, even some of his allies like Marjorie Taylor Greene in Congress, they have been sort of talking more about the future and what the GOP looks like without Donald Trump at the very center of it years down the line. So I think that's what that might be about. But no, I don't think we're going to see a third Donald Trump term.
There are tricky ways around it. It's been suggested he could get elected as vice president and then have whoever was elected president step aside for him. But he has ruled that out, unlike Donald Trump. He's actually said, no, I wouldn't do that, that it's too tricky. But interestingly, while some of this was being raised with him on Air Force One, with Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, over his shoulder, he went in big on a J.D. Vance Marco Rubio ticket to succeed him. Have a look.
Well, we have great people. I don't have to get into that, but we have one of them standing right here. We have J.D., obviously. The vice president is great. I think Marco's great. I think, I'm not sure if anybody would run against us. I think if they ever formed a group, it would be unstoppable.
Yeah, a Vance Rubio ticket would be a pretty good one, especially when compared to anything the Democrats could throw up at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, clearly right now, J.D. Vance seems most well positioned to take the MAGA mantle, but it's so early to know who is going to be the next nominee. And the Republican bench is just remarkably deep right now. We got Marco Rubio, the Virginia governor, Glenn Youngkin. He's a rising star. We've still got Ron DeSantis. Nobody knows what he's going to do next. We've got Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Tim Scott, Josh Hawley, many others. So I don't know who the next sort of Trump is going to be. There will never be another Trump, but the next leader of the Republican Party. But sure, right now, J.D. Vance looks to be the front runner. The real question, Chris, is who are the Democrats going to kind of come around and boost up, because their bench is remarkably shallow. They have got a bunch of duds like Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, who has destroyed California, Gretchen Whitmer. I've never seen anybody more unlikable than her. Pete Buttigieg. These are a bunch of losers. Who are the Democrats going to run who could beat any of those phenomenal Republicans I just mentioned? I don't know.
Yeah, these are largely people that Donald Trump has humiliated in the past. Let's bring it right down to local political level now, and the mayoral race for the great city of New York. And the Democrat frontrunner at the moment, Zohran Mamdani, creating all sorts of controversy for various reasons. Have a look at this latest rally speech from him.
Together, New York, we're going to freeze up. Together, New York, we're going to make buses fast and together, New York, we're going to deliver universal.
Well, there's lots more to talk about with this guy, Kristin, but he's talking about rent freezes, free buses, free childcare. It's just a giveaway for everyone. Who's going to pay?
Great question. Yeah, a socialist who hates the United States and everything it stands for is likely going to be the next mayor of our nation's largest city, New York City. This will be devastating for the country. This guy is soft on crime. He wants to let all the criminals out of prison. He wants to destroy the housing market with rent freezes. He wants to put in place government-run grocery stores. A part of me, Chris, wants to say, if they vote for him, New York City deserves what they get. But this is our nation's largest city. This is where Wall Street is. The largest U.S. city failing and becoming the next Detroit would be absolutely devastating. And we will see a massive exodus out of New York City if this socialist is elected. I wrote a whole book about this. It's called The Liberal Invasion of Red State America. People have been leaving places like New York and going to Florida for many years now. That will go into overdrive. And keep this in mind, the top 1% of taxpayers in New York right now fund 50% of New York's coffers with their income taxes. If just that 1% leaves, it's a very small number of very rich individuals. If they pack up and leave New York and go to Florida or other states because their city gets destroyed, that would completely devastate the tax base of New York. And you think they can't pay for these pie-in-the-sky plans now? Just wait until that top 1% leaves and there is no money left.
Yeah, let's wait and see how it goes. A lot of sensible Democrats are trying to cut him off, but at the moment he seems unstoppable. We'll see where we go. I've got to get your thoughts, Kristin, on a great love match, a great celebrity story that's sweeping across the world with the former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau officially dating Katy Perry. What do you think of this great meeting of liberal minds?
You know what? If it gets Katy Perry out of the U.S. and up to Canada, I am all for it. Canada can have Katy Perry. You guys take her. This woman is so shrill and they deserve each other. I hope they are very happy.
They could have Katy Perry because we had Leonard Cohen and Gordon Lightfoot and Neil Young and Katie Lang. It's only fair they get Katy Perry back.
Exactly.